All right. Wait. 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 I'm live. I am live, folks. Let me see. How dark am I? How dark am I? Okay, that's better. That's better. Maybe here? Hold on. All right, put it this way. All right, so we're gonna play rapid. We're gonna play rapid games as always. When it comes to YouTube, it's always rapid. So far, if you want to see me play bullet chess and even blitz games, it's gonna be on the other platform. The other platform. All right, so let's see if we could find anybody to play rapid, explaining the moves as I go along. The key is explaining the moves. The key is actually to find a game first, and then we could explain the moves. If we could find a game, that'd be great. Yeah, that's what happens when you're high rating. When you have a high rating, you get absolutely no opponents. No opponents. Okay, we found someone. We found someone. All right, G6. We could play the typical modern defense that I've been playing. Knight C3 is fine, as long as you follow his D4. He's playing D3, and I'm not sure why. But C5 may actually transpose to like some kind of Sicilian C5. We could also play E6, D5. I mean, this is not very common to play D3. The reason C5 so you could play like stopping D4, but you could play Knight F3 and then somehow transpose to Sicilian. Assuming you play C5. So we could play E6. I'm not sure if this is the best move. I mean, I'm looking at D5 and instead of like C5. He's playing Bishop D2. This feels like a little bit off. I mean, I would expect Knight F3. Better moves than Bishop D2. I suppose C5 may still transpose to Sicilian. We could play something like here, D5. I'm assuming F4 is playable. Maybe that's what he's going for, F4. Then you could play centralized chess, you play toward the center. Then we could play D5, C5. C5, D5. I mean, hopefully he's not tuning into my stream. I mean, sometimes people would be tuning in, listening to which moves I'm suggesting, and sometimes it's rough. It's not great. It's not great. Maybe F4, G3, Knight F3, Bishop E2 even. The all like moves. The reason I don't like this setup for white, C2, D3, E4, it's not challenging enough, like against a modern defense. Anytime at any time your opponent is playing G6, okay, Queen C1, this is actually like circus. He's trying to play here. I mean, they could even do like H5, stopping Bishop H6, F3, and then D5. We could do this so we could stop that. So at any time that your opponent plays E4, G6, and you're taking the white side after you see G6, you probably have to proceed, even though there's ways you could play against the modern defense. It's a good choice to play toward the center. So if like, let's say E4, G6, you could play Knight F3, G3 kind of stuff, but it's not challenging enough for black, meaning that black is already equalized without any kind of issues. So if he plays Knight F3, we just proceed, along the center. So if he's not taking the center, I would try to take control over it. So that's actually the goal. So typically in the modern defense, white takes the center, but black may have some, like some counterplay and build in the pieces so you could try to prove that that the center it's going to be controlled by white, but not for long. Yeah, black would try to get active later. So he plays g3, and I spoke about this g3 stuff that could happen, but this one is a little bit off here. I mean, I think it's around here. I was referring to, you could even do g3 here, like bishop g2, but it's just not challenging enough for black, meaning that black is, maybe is equal or better, depending on how things proceed. So c5, another attempt c5 is to take control of the center, nothing else here. The only issue is knight, like g5 could be a weakness. Like knight could come over, bishop could come over, but I'm not allowing it. So bishop g2, okay, so now we could play knight c6. We're just developing pieces, we are competing on the center. He castles down. Maybe this move is okay. There's a lot of moves. A lot of moves. I could even do here 92 e5. Here 92 e5. King h1. Maybe try to get a 4. All right, let's do it. 92, I suppose. 94 feels like it's out of play. All right, so we could play e5. So we could get the other bishop out. That's actually the idea. So we could control the center, just like it's not that easy though. That black is not claiming an advantage or anything, but it's not that easy for black to now to claim that he's better. But h3, he's stopping bishop g4. Again, g5 seems to be a concern. I mean, I'm actually considering f6, so I could stop knight g5, but it feels like it's maybe weakening. Like I could play f6 here. There's maybe here. It's a bit concerning. All right, let's do it. I mean, here maybe I could even be, try to get active by g5. I mean, the reason I'm, basically playing f6 to stop here, but I also see that I'm playing h5 early on, so, you may as well try to find a way to attack. It wouldn't be surprising if I play g5 here. So e3, I don't understand what he's trying to do. Is it b4? Maybe he knows that, maybe he's guessing I'm going to castle long and proceed with some kind of attack. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. All right, we could play bishop e6. I'm assuming this one. b6, b5, knight b8. We could get the knight back again to d7. Again, so black is controlling the center pretty much. And that's not very... It's not a good sign for white, but... Could I play g5? All right, let's get active. So the point of g5 is to get knight g6 and maybe h4. He plays here. This feels like a little bit active, but he's trying to play f4, I suppose. I mean, the idea is f4. I wonder if I could play here, though. When he plays f4, I could take... It feels like the king on h2 might be, like, attackable. And if he plays here, knight g6, knight f4, it may feel like he's blocking the position, but this is actually in favor for black. Because you could jump a piece on f4. I mean, he might try it. He might try g4. He did. So maybe here and here. So maybe I want to put a piece here. He takes one time, supposedly with bishop or something, and then I could bring my another knight on e5. Something like here. You don't want to take it with the g pawn. Maybe it was the e pawn. This is a big difference. The reason is I want to get my knight on e5 as opposed to the other line. The knight cannot go to e5. You may have to, like, make a piece Maybe want to try to jump with the pieces so I could play knight g5, but you know, knight g5 doesn't feel like it's doing anything for me. Knight e5 is more interesting. But this feels like maybe it's locked. Like maybe white could still prove that this is some kind of a draw. All right, knight e5, I'm attacking here. You do have to play bishop h1, I suppose. Bishop g2 is f3. So he has to be careful where he's going. Or he could play this one, yeah. Or he could play this one. That's for sure. Forgot about this one, but now I'm controlling the game. I could even play king f7. I don't have to castle. I could castle if I want to. I could actually castle here. But just short because these pawns are locking the way for potential attack. You know, there's no attack by white. I mean, you could try bishop e2, knight f3. There's nothing. You cannot really break those pawns. Now it's black to prove. Maybe he could play f3, which is fantastic. But this gonna put his knight in a very weird situation along with his bishop. So we could play on the queen side. This is the only way that we could claim some advantage, like c4, c3 even. Yeah, that makes sense. Knight f3. So if he takes, yeah, he could undouble the pawns. So if he takes here, it's good. It's good for black. And I don't know why he's taking those. This is shocking. Maybe he wants to play here, but this is also locked. Everything is locked. So you can see this this pawn structure here. I don't know if the arrows are not enough to make it. So the pawn here, 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 here. It's locking. It's controlling more squares, right? So I could see that I'm controlling more like here, 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 and even here. I mean, typically this may feel like it's a draw, but if anybody could win, it's actually black. So maybe I'm just gonna push and see what happens. I mean, sometimes you could see people play f3 and start praying that this is actually some kind of a draw. It could be. Okay, so he was trading. It's not a good sign for white, but c2 is weakness. Maybe if you go for this, he's fine. I wonder if I could take on queen c2. Maybe he's fine. Rook b1, I suppose. Rook b1. Yeah, rook b1. Now, the bishop on g7 is not doing anything. You want to put it at better square, so it's bishop f8. It does attack this pawn, but the bishop probably belongs somewhere, like in this diagonal, as opposed to, and he's trying to trade. I don't blame him. It looks like a right way to go about this. So we could take, maybe I could play queen c2, or maybe I could take queen c3. There's maybe queen b3. There's also f5, a5 takes. So I'm trying to trade down here. I think I might be controlling the c file, should he take, right? So maybe here. Assuming, let's say, pre-move this one, just if he takes, just in case. All right, so he took the bishop. Now I think it's a good time to see how exactly I should handle this. I have to be careful, though, because if you take with the king, he's going to take here, and guess what? You lose. You lose. So may I have to take this one first? I wonder if I missed this move. No, I did not. All right. If he trades, there's a weak c3 square. I'm just going to pre-move this. I only have 2 minutes left on my clock, so I have to, like, speed up. Speed up, doing a lot of talking, but explaining the moves. Okay, take rook c3. So this may guarantee winning a pawn. But is it enough for a win after rook b5? That's actually the real question. Could I win? Because I'm gonna be up a pawn. Is it enough for a win? That's Sometimes you could be up a pawn in the rook ending, but it could be a forced draw. Oh, wow. You could go for those. All right. Maybe he's back. I forgot about King G2. But we have here, check. The rook is on D3. So in ending games, rook endings activity really matters. So the rook on D3 is really strong. So now I may win F2. I suppose if he goes here, check, here, rook F1. And then I suppose I could win. He's gonna give me some hundreds of checks here that I have to find a way. Maybe king here. He might go after G5. But then maybe this is winning because of D4. It's a pass pawn. It is potential win. Because this one might be goner, right? It's actually, he has to defend it. Rook takes F2. He's not defending it, so we play here. It's check. We could give him one more check. I wonder if D3 would be enough. I do have to be careful not allowing rook takes C5, though. He's going to take on G5, so maybe I could go here now. So when he checks, my king could go all the way to E3, and this is actually should be winning. You cannot really, maybe rook F5, best attempt, but again, it's just D2. He's going behind the pass pawn, it makes sense to me. I could go here, though. The rook is G2 stopping this pawn. There's also rook H2, D2. I mean, this should be winning, of course. It should be, but I'm actually attacking here as well. This A pawn is not going anywhere. It's D2, rook H1. That's fine. I could always check, but the problem is D2, though. G6? No, I could still go back and win. Like, assuming after I grab his rook. Because there's actually check here, D1. He doesn't have G7, I could take the rook. If he takes on D1, I take down D1, and G7, I go back. I could stop. He's trying it, but it doesn't make sense here. It's over, supposedly here, and he might just take. It doesn't matter what he does. I could stop the pawn. Yeah, so I stop the pawn, rook G8. Rook G8, King G4 is a try. I play here, though. I could stop these pass pawns. It's easy. We could also have another pass pawn, which is... This is winning, of course. It's winning, of course. So I grab this. At the very least, I sack my rook for the A pawn, and it should be winning. At the very least, right? Yeah, so we give a rematch since he's a decent guy. We cannot find games, so he's not gonna accept rematch. Okay. No rematch. So it's gotta be short stream though, but it's better than no stream actually. So okay. Actually, this guy, let me do one more thing because this guy is too low. I wonder if I could do minus 50? Let me see. It's probably pushing it. It's like not many 2400s might be online. That's actually the issue, but we'll try. The only drawback, really, it's the higher your rapid rating is. I cannot stress this enough because I keep saying it over and over again, and people doesn't believe me when I say that. The higher you get in rapid, the more less opponents you find because it's not like blitz. It's not like bullet where people always play bullet blitz. It doesn't matter the rating. It does matter at some point. Johnson, 90 years. That's good. G6. So the higher you get, the less opponents or potential cheaters. I mean, cheaters in all levels, to be honest, but sometimes a higher rating than people that joined a week ago or something are kind of like suspicious, you know? So nice. This is equivalent to the previous game, except my opponent played the right setup here. That you could play knight c3, but you want to put your center pawns. This is actually the most active way to play. Bishop e3. This feels like it's a main line. But typically, when you play d6, it is d6. Bishop e3. This is actually the main stuff. Except c6 is a sideline, and you could play d5. It takes you in a different territory here. So I usually takes here, here. Actually, takes here is actually pawn takes, not bishop takes. You want to try to take control over the e file with the rook. If you take with the bishop, this is bishop h6. May not have easy time to castle, though. So bishop d3, I castled. I could play knight d7. It becomes like solid game, and that's one of the reasons I like the modern defense. It actually could be very solid depending on which line. I mean, it's a hyper modern opening, but, assuming you're giving up the center to your opponent early on. But it's pretty solid in some lines, and it could be really... It does give you some winning chances, but not by a lot. I mean, if that's the case, everybody would be playing it at the highest level. So bishop d3. So I could play knight d5. I could just go after this bishop pair, if possible. He could even do bishop d2. It's not surprisingly a bad move or anything. He makes us find a way. Yeah, he was able to do it. He was able to do it. So typically queen c7 is an idea. Maybe you want to play here. You're just getting your queen in a better square and potentially move the bishop somewhere. Bishop on c8, I mean. So if I go for this, just drops a pawn. This drops a pawn, supposedly. So I could play h6, stopping knight g5 here. Maybe I want to play bishop e6. I just noticed that bishop e6 is bishop takes g6. You take, rook takes. It's actually not a good sign by me. So again, here, he takes on e7. I may have to go back to knight f6. I'm actually may have misplayed this somehow. Maybe I rushed into knight d5. Like, maybe I rushed into knight d5 fast enough. Sometimes I do play bishop f5, but I'm not sure if this is actually a good idea in a rapid game. Maybe in blitz it's okay. Yeah, because I don't have knight b4 or anything. This is taking, but takes. This feels like it's down a pawn without anything for me. We may have to go back. This is not the greatest idea. I mean, I could actually get hit by this one. Attacking e7. Rook e8, knight e5. It feels like white is actually active. If you play queen c2... I mean, I wonder if he's stopping bishop f5. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, this is really an idea by him. It could be, actually. Maybe he's going for it. Deep ideas. Deep idea. I mean, maybe he wants to put his queen here so he could have bishop takes h6. And if you play here knight e5... Yeah, that feels like it's some kind of concern here. May have to play this. I mean, may as well pre-move on g6. May as well do it. He might do it. This guy knows what he's doing. He didn't do it. Okay. But he's optimizing his position, though. Like, his position is getting really attractive. My bishop's still sitting on c8. Still sitting on c8, which feels like it's a big trouble. looming. May have to develop the bishop somehow. 95. 95. I suppose if he consider, yeah, 95. I mean, I have to play bishop e8. I'm actually hating my position right now. It feels like I'm way too passive here. I mean, maybe even bishop b4 is like trouble. Major trouble. I mean, this move is really strong, I think. Keeping an eye on e7. It's difficult. I mean, even taking here, it's not. It's not good. The only fun part about here is I don't know if c5 is playable. Like, try. I mean, he found it. He found it, man. He found the moves. Hopefully, he's not tuning in to my stream. I don't think he is, but I don't think he is. This trouble though. Trouble. Do I have b5? I mean, I don't even think I do have it. No. Any kind of sack I just take though. Yes. This is gonna be rough. I mean, here b5. I mean, what else do I have? So I could play b4. b4 and shut this bishop down. But what else do I have? What else do I have here except b4? So the idea of b4 is simple, shutting this bishop down. He's gonna play here? Maybe he's going for knight c6. But I just take though, b4. So the bishop will be stuck on a3. So that's the plan. By the way, the bishop is defending b5, just in case people are not seeing any of the moves. The bishop still... I'm using the bishop on e as a support to play b5. So that's supporting b5 and b4. So that's a plan. It's a plan for now. Okay, he's sacked. I mean, I have to take... I don't think I have anything to counter this. So this is going to be fun, though. He's claiming a compensation here for the sack. Queen d6, I think he's going to take on f8. Bishop takes. I mean, bishop takes f8. I wonder if I could hold this. This feels like maybe. I don't think knight e7 is a move, though. Maybe knight f5. Oh, that's the scary stuff. Okay, so he took... I don't know. This feels like maybe I could hold this. I mean, 2 pawns or, you know, a couple pawns for this, but the minor pieces and potential my king is not safe. Rook over. That's a good stuff. You have to be careful. This is not a free pawn. There's bishop check and you lose a queen. He knows what he's doing. So maybe I have to play here, shielding my king somehow. My king needs support, and he's attacking here. He's attacking b5. He's attacking b5. You know what? I'm gonna give him b5. I mean, this position is maybe is requiring me to just take on b5 and knight d5. I mean, maybe that's what I have to do. Give him like all the pawns he's looking for, and then play with the minor pieces. I mean, he's gonna take, I suppose. Taking on b5. This may be my last game, though, for today. I know it's a short stream, but it's better than nothing. We play a couple games, we explain the moves. And I try to stream every day, though. I try to stream every day whenever I can. YouTube, Twitch. All right, he took, rook takes. The sort of things are getting really interesting now. I mean, I suppose maybe here... I'm assuming I play with a knight, active knight and bishop. But is it enough, though? Compensation for the pawns. It looks like white is claiming all the pawns. And here he is actually claiming he wants an additional pawn. Actually, I have to play here. So I might be left with no pawns. But knight f4. Maybe I could take one back. Yeah, this may be tough. I cannot play against those two pawns like this. I mean, maybe it's too much. It's too much. And also, I might be putting myself in a pin here. Like, I may not move my pieces easily should I take on d4. I guess the best situation is maybe bishop takes knight e6 and somehow get my king on g7. And try to stop these pawns from moving somehow. I mean, that's the best that black could do. I may have to go with the plan here. Bishop takes, knight e6. And then maybe move the rook somehow so I could, so he's trying to pin. Yeah, he's keeping up the pin pretty strongly here. So maybe the king goes to e5. So he's trying to push the pawns. I like the idea. Maybe even f4, f5, you could win a piece. So I could get my king to e5 and then start moving my rook. All right, so f4 is f5. That's actually the money move. So could I play here? King here. This is getting really sharp, actually. If I get my king here... He has f5? Wow. Well, he could actually play f5. I want to play here, but I'm actually concerned about f5. All right, let's do this. So I'm not sure. This feels like black got some activity out of nowhere. I mean, the pawn at e2 is being stopped. You play that f5. Yeah, that was my concern. He wants me to take so he could take here and it becomes like a rook ending kind of thing. And he might have that plenty of pawns. That's maybe his way of winning, supposedly. So if I check, he plays here. I mean, I know I could take at least one pawn back. Takes. Is it somehow a draw, though? If I could find a draw... Yeah, I could take on g3, but this is two passed pawns. I check king d1. I may have to take. I mean, I don't have too many choices. If I take here, it's a4, and I think this is winning for him, even if I take on h3. Is it winning, though? I could take here and claim a draw, though. Maybe it's a draw somehow. So he's up a pawn. Okay, maybe this is a good move. You know, keeping the pawn at bay here. So it doesn't move to b5. You could check, though. I go here. I mean, this may be a draw, I think. It should be a draw, if I'm not mistaken, though. I mean, black would be happy with a draw here, considering I was down like 20 pawns. I mean, I was down a lot of pawns. I got like 2 back. I wanted to play king e6. But that seems to be okay, supposedly. Okay, check again. I mean, here rook takes. It should be draw even after h4. It's hard to say. I could always keep checking. I could keep checking. Okay, check. He might go here. But I just repeat them. I might just repeat. I mean, he could take here, that's fine. I mean, you need to know how to draw that, right? So rook g4 is not the best move. I think I could play f5. I gain a tempo, big tempo. Because now if he plays here, I take on g3. If he goes here, I take on b4. I could even play h5. He plays here, but I take h5, king f2. This actually should be draw now, I think. h5 is good enough. Because I could even play h4. Takes, rook takes h3. Maybe this one is a little bit tricky. Because now the 2 pawns are separated from each other. Okay, I take here. This maybe g4. Okay, I take here. This should be draw now, I think. I have to be watch out for g4. He's waiting for it. Here you get smoked by rook h4, you lose the rook. So maybe it's just if I play here g4 here, I may have to play like king f6. Should be good enough. If he steps in, I just could always play here. I'm offering him a draw, but we'll see. He took it. He knows it's a draw, though. He knows it's a draw. Nice play. Okay, so this is gonna be the last game. I said this is the last game. No, it's b4. Let's make it exciting. e3. This is a wing gambit. Knight f3. This is wing gambit opening. h6. h6 is interesting. I mean, I was not going to knight g5. I mean, yeah. I mean, it might be. Welcome in, James. Hey, Red. Welcome in. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. h6 is a little bit off, though. A little bit off move. I mean, I wonder if I have bishop d5. Maybe just castle, though. Maybe I have d4. I don't think h6 is a good move, but in a position like this where things are, like, intense d4, let's play d4. Takes, maybe even e5. You don't want to waste move like h6. I used to play like this in the past when I was like 1700 USCF or even below, like when I was like 1400, 1500. I would play like a lot of h6, a6, and that the reason I would be making those moves because I would stop the knight from coming to like b5, g5. That was my idea. Your achievements are very impressive. How long did it take you to self-learn any? Yeah, I mean, it took a lot. I mean, it took years. I played chess since 1998, I suppose, my first tournament. I became a master in 2015, so it took years. It took years of playing tournaments and playing club tournaments. And, you know, just studying master games, grandmaster games, and learning from my mistakes when I play somebody and I lose to him. I would always go over the game with my opponent to tell him where that I went wrong, and he would tell me. Sometimes I wouldn't know. Like, this one time that I played a game, even when I was, like, expert, when I was 2000 USCF, and I would be like, how did I lose the game? I told him, like, I told my opponent, I was playing really well. He said, no, you played you played one mistake in the opening that seems to be costing you the entire game, like even to all the way to the end of the game. So I pick up my mistakes from that, from knowing my mistakes, and then I try not to do them again. I'm half driving judging who has initiative. Yeah, so typically here the initiative is around here. When you play E3, if he were to take on E3, for example, D4, white would carry the initiative. I'm trying to carry it. That's the reason why I played D4. I mean, maybe I am carrying the initiative right now. I mean, knight takes C4 is actually, I have knight rook E1 even, but maybe this allows D5. I mean, maybe knight takes C5 it's kind of strong. May have to do it though. Takes. I mean, if he takes there's some trick on queen D5. Potential tricks. So the wing gambit it's some kind of initiative, but it doesn't mean that like it's winning or anything. There's a way you could, black could equalize. He took. So now if it's white to move, it's queen D5, right? Queen D5. Because if he plays here, right, so take on G5, F7 is mate. He doesn't have a way to go back to D6. It's kind of annoying right now, like how he stopped queen D5. So if he goes for this, queen D5 anyway, you really attacking the knight, you're attacking F7. So that seems to be the issue. I mean, maybe he could play D6, queen D5 still. I mean, the problem is defending both pieces same time, mate or the knight. I actually felt like the best way to play is, I mean, I think H6 is a mistake. If it's his move, he could have probably played like even, I mean, he could even do like, I mean, I've seen bishop E7. Maybe bishop E7, knight F6, castles, and keeping the tension on, on the other side of the board where there's a pawn at B4, right? So now it's shifted. Like now I'm like really going after some kind of an attack. I mean, that's the reason why he's sinking right now. So this may be the only way to stop it, but at the cost of a pawn. That actually seems to be a concerning for him. Because now this feels like I'm carrying the initiative now. It's white. So if I play queen D5, it's knight E6. That's actually his defense. Makes sense. If I take knight E6, I wonder if I could play F4. So even if he takes on here, F5, I'm still attacking. I mean, if I play queen H5, there's queen F3, but they all lead to knight E6. It's funny though, knight E6. Yeah, black is behind, but black is behind in developing. Yeah, that's true. I suppose I could take. I also have the open E5. So he plays knight E6. That's the only move I think. If F4, queen B6, check. Here, queen takes B4 even, and that's a game though. That's a game on. I'm also not developed too, by the way. I mean, if you think about it, like my pieces are not doing like I would rather have a knight on D5, like the bishop already on E3. But if I play bishop E3, then he could go for bishop takes B4, and I mean I could still play like this F4. Maybe this is still good though. F4, F5. Because if I go here, it's queen B6 here. And he could take with the tempo, attacking the bishop on C4. It's a mess. Bishop E3 stopping here. It's also developing a move. I'm assuming bishop E3 is queen C7. That maybe is a big concern for me because now he's attacking E5 and he's attacking the bishop same time. And that's not a good idea. I mean, I can still play queen D5. But then he gets to play bishop takes, and then maybe I could still play F4. The game is still rich. Like, it's still having some ideas. It's not like I'm not. There's still a lot of things here. All right, we're going to play F4. It's queen B6, I suppose you're going to do this. I don't think it's bishop takes. Bishop takes is f5. Even if he plays check, king h1. I mean, f5 is kind of dangerous still, because I'm actually going back to the original idea, like f5 and queen d5. I'm still like hunting for it. And that's actually the reason that I'm playing f4. F5, then the knight's it's moving from e6, right? So he's checked. I mean, I would rather block, but I have nothing to block. Rook f2 is not a great move. I'm assuming he's gonna take though. My guess is gonna take on b4, because I don't have bishop e3 or anything. Queen takes c4. Bishop is hanging on c4. And obviously here f5, he could just take, and then if he, yeah, he took on b4. He took on b4, and the real question is what to do. So now I'm back to like dropping a pawn, which is okay, because in this line, in this opening, you do drop a pawn, so it's okay. I'm still within the gambit, right? So dropping a pawn here is not the issue. It's actually my developing is the issue. Like, I need to develop more pieces. So knight d2 comes to mind. Maybe bishop e3 is big move. Queen d2, so I could defend here. Defend the bishop on c4, and f5 is still happening. I mean, I could move my bishop, but I'm losing developing. Like, I need to develop my pieces. I mean, technically, maybe a bishop like b3 is okay, but this knight c5. Or bishop e2 is funny looking move, right? But I'm not developed. I mean, maybe even bishop c5. Bishop e3, queen b6. So it's maybe knight here. Maybe now I could harass his queen, rook b1, bishop e3, still f5, maybe knight e4 in sometimes this year. This potential. Knight e4 right now is not the idea because the bishop is still hanging. I'm talking about like deep ideas like later. Let's say bishop e3, queen b6, knight e4. So the knight, the knight is engaging in the attack along with the bishop on the knight. Like the knight on the bishop, excuse me, and then f5. This feels like, like maybe my attack is going to be strong. But you have to remember, though, in this opening, if I go to some kind of an ending, you could see that this is scary stuff. A7 and b5. I mean, a7, right? This is like a pass pawn. If black managed to find a way to trade everything, then white is in trouble, right? Technically, that's going to be winning ending. If it's like a pawn ending or rook ending. But imagine if it's only going to be like rook versus rook in a position like this, and he's still have e7. He's going to be up a pawn, and it's a pass pawn. So white's job is to actually to prove that you could trade a couple of pieces, but not everything, right? And especially now, I'm actually attacking, so my mind is actually on attacking. So he plays queen b6. So I could play knight e4, f5, original ideas. The bishop on c1 cannot really move. It could move here, but it's just going to be in favor for him because rook takes and he could castle. That's part of the issue. So knight e4, f5. Because f5, maybe knight g5. It looks very funny move. But maybe defense. Even though there's h4. But alright, I'm going to play knight e4. If he plays queen c6, because I had to take a look at this move. Actually, does queen d4 here? No. Alright, so he didn't play it. So now f5. f5, knight g5? Maybe. I'm scared of the pawn storms. Yeah, knight g5. This game is really messy now. Talk about messy. I could take on here and queen d5. Maybe pawn takes. I'm gonna open up some major issues for myself. I'm gonna do it. He's also f6. But this give him queen e6. It's knight d6. There's 2 minutes left. It's amazing. Alright, let's try this. One minute left. That's gonna take some. I mean, he has to take. This is not. If he plays here, you talk about knight takes and f7. That's gonna be rough. And I have to watch out. H2 is. But actually, there's some mates now. I mean, if he's not really careful, there's like min and 2, 1, 2, 2, check. So if it's white to move, it's queen e7, queen e1, queen e7 here. And he castled, though. He castled in the toilet. I mean, I see that he could castle here, but this looks wicked dangerous, though. f6. This is the danger itself. Because now here... I mean, I could argue that queen d2 is almost winning. Or queen d5. Still scary, though. King is exposed. So I'm defending the bishop, but I'm looking at bishop takes even. Wow, that's ambitious move. The rook here. I mean, he's not developed. That's actually the biggest issue. He is not developed here. Rook e7 is big move. Check. This actually should be a winning now. Should be. Where are you going, sir? Where are you going? I mean, I don't care about d6. This is not about d6. It's about maybe the king get mated. Here. Have to be careful, though, but still... Check. Check. This queen takes f5. Queen takes f5. That would win. Wait, hold on. Now it's winning. Rook h7. Rook h7. This should be mate. Should be mate. Mate! Alright, we won the game. I think the reason I won the game because I kept that attack, right? The attack was pretty strong. Yeah, it's mate in 5. Yeah, queen takes. This is all lost. If this is all lost, there's no way he could defend this. This is still losing. It's +6 here. I guess the defense is around here. Okay, so this is a computer finding. Where's +1? It's around here, no? Yeah, so around here, he had queen d4. Yeah, it was a good game. I saw queen d4 and I felt like it's not that big of a deal. It's funny that queen d4 is f5. That's actually what's interesting. I mean, maybe I I was going for f5 anyway. The funny part is actually you could give up this rook, which is this is actually totally lost. Because now everything is going to be heading towards an attack. It's an attack only kind of thing, right? Knight d6 here, queen h5. You're getting smoked all across here, and he's still looking for mate. So it's very difficult. I think the real suspense is around here. Yeah, takes on e5 is a mistake. And look at this as a mistake by me. I should have played d5. Yeah, that makes sense. d5 is also very strong. I'm assuming knight a5 is knight takes e5 or bishop d3. Bishop d3 should be winning. Knight here and then knight takes e5. And then you have some major... The open e file is pretty dangerous. Yeah, so d5 was better. There's d5. Yeah, d5 would have really hold the game for black. That's true. And it's funny that after d5, the computer is giving me some weird line, like takes here. And this is somehow a draw. Like I have to go for a draw here. Yeah, I've got to be kidding me. I was not playing for a draw here. This is how he should be playing because of knight takes d4. And this black has enough. It has enough to draw the game. So you have to play d5 to... This is the initiative move that you're talking about. I mean, that's an initiative move, forcing him to like go backwards. If he, let's say, go here, it's bishop d3, then white control the entire game, right? It's only white that carries the initiative here. So h6 is not the best move. Yeah, I agree with the computer assessment. I mean, I actually don't like knight h6 at all. This feels like a major waste of move. The reason h6 is terrible is because knight g5 is not happening. This queen takes. Like, you're not really stopping knight g5. If you're going here, maybe knight g5. Yes, it's a potential Fred lever kind of stuff. But there's plenty of moves. I mean, you could also do like bishop e7. This is actually one of the moves, right? You could take and knight f6. This is a computer line. And d5. And that's going to be fun. This is actually what we call really fun stuff here. There's plenty of other moves. I mean, I could argue that d6 is playable. Even d6 is playable, assuming that a takes b4 and like bishop e7. This may be like a better version for black. You could, even if the computer is slightly like white, that's still okay. But h6 just doesn't make any kind of sense, right? I mean, h6 is kind of, even if the computer feels like it's a draw, in long term, it just feels like it's a wasted move. Yeah, thank you, Mira. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. And then knight f6. I actually feel like bishop b2 was a good move, I suppose, because you keep attacking on e5, you keep carrying the initiative. I went with d4, but unfortunately d4 he could just simply take, and then there's actually another line where you take, you go here, just d5. I mean, this actually seems to be good for black. I mean, decent enough to defend bishop b5, knight e4, knight takes d4, supposedly bishop d7, yeah. And he's fine. He's fine. Even after e6, I think e6 he's a stick with pawn. Queen h5. Black is fine here, actually. Black is fine in this line. That's how he's supposed to play this with his black side. Which is the reason why the computer doesn't so much like d4. It just feels like d4 is not good enough. Like after knight f6, perhaps. You gotta play with the queen e2. Bishop c5, you could castle. And this position, I mean, you can see the computer now likes black. And the reason it likes black, because now black doesn't have an issue. Like he doesn't have the issue like white is attacking here, and he's actually up a pawn, right? The problem in this line and this opening, if black managed to keep the pawn in the wing gambit, and let's say a position like this, you castle, you could see that, you know, white position is just, white is not creating anything after knight takes b4. I could argue and say this is winning in the long term because of the a7 pawn, and it's just like an extra pawn for no reason. This is, by the way, does not work. This is a trappy thing. This d5. Bishop d4 does not work. Oh, c3. Yes. So there's this funny line here. It's d5. And then should he take here? If this is, for example, is knight takes c2, right? So you cannot take on e5 here. So you have to play like d3, more like positional. But then what's the point here? Once my opponent figure out to play positionally, then he could play, the solid chess from black, even bishop g5. Computer line, and it's still good for black. But what my opponent did is not good enough. I mean, unfortunately, what he did is not in line with his opening, even though I blunder here. So after here, it just feels like white is completely in command. I just want to see if bishop e3 was a move. Yeah, there was more like a lot of moves here, a lot of good choices. I was leaning toward bishop e3. 1.4, it kind of dropped. F4. 1.5. So it likes queen d3, and I could see... I wonder what's queen d3 is all about. Maybe queen d3 is... And if you play d5, he could take here. Why would he play d5? If you play f4, maybe there's a d5. And it still wants d5 in this line. I mean, nevertheless, this is all good for white, though. This is all good for white. So once this happens, once this position happens on e6 like this, it doesn't matter much. I'm not losing the advantage per se. So around here, it just feels like white is in command and should be winning after, like, even f4 is okay. It should be winning enough to me, I think. Queen b6 now, it's not the best move. King h1, queen takes b3. Knight d2 was the best move. Computer like it. So I was looking at bishop e2, which is funny. Bishop e2 turns out to be like terrible move because of queen d4. I actually saw queen d4, but I did not see that this is even good enough for him. I felt like knight d2 is by far the better move. The reason knight d2 is just strong enough is for 3 reasons, not just one reason. You're actually protecting the bishop on c4, but you're doing it by developing a piece, not so much by returning the piece back, like let's say like bishop e3, bishop e2. So you gain a developing move, and also protecting c4. The other reason is actually jumping on e4. Like, the idea of jumping on e4 is actually pretty strong, just like he allowed it. I mean, knight e4 was a key move. It still wants queen d4. F5 is probably the strongest, yeah. So f5, knight g5. I actually felt like it's h4, but h4 was good enough, but I felt like h4 is very strong, even after queen d4. This queen h5. Kind of tricky position all across. It's all about f7 being weakness. But queen e2 is good. It's a computer line, and I think it's probably good enough. It's good enough. The reason is, it's a solid move, and it's like keeping this knight on g5 at bay, pretty much. Like, I mean, this knight on g5 is out of the game. And it's funny that computer wants king d8. That's how bad this position is. I mean, if king d8 is a move, then this is really terrible. How do you make errors on the board? I'm using my clicking it. I'm using my right click. Yeah, right click. It's probably easier in Lichess than chess.com, to be honest. I'm not usually precise with the clicking. With the arrows, actually. With the clicking, yes, but with the arrows, I'm not. Like, you can see, I'm actually not intentional. I'm not properly making the arrows correctly. But after queen b6, I mean, this is only losing here. So it's funny that knight e4, it's queen d4, but it does not change the outcome of the game. It's still like f5. So this is still winning. And bishop e7 is horrendous, right? So it's f5. I just want to see if f6. f6 was the best move. I mean, I had plenty of choices here. f6, knight d6, bishop takes d9, knight. Sometimes I play viewers, and it's mostly on Twitch, to be honest. When we have, like, when I play viewers, sometimes I do play viewers specifically designed from a specific stream, and then people could play me, or people could subscribe, they could play me there. So that's It's always an option. In YouTube, it's more like educational. So it's like +5 here, f6. I mean, f6 is just like the strongest move, but I mean, even bishop takes still strong. There's no way you could defend this position. I mean, I felt like here you could resign. I mean, this is actually a resigning position. Takes, and then f6, knight d6. I mean, this is actually, knight d6 is much stronger, and the reason here it's completely lost because the king is like naked at this point. And this castling is more funny than anything because after f6 everything is like totally lost. I actually missed queen h5, which is funny. Queen h5 is like by force mate, and I could see why. I think queen takes c4, pawn takes g5, king takes, queen takes g5, rook f6, and then rook h6, I suppose. Let's say you take here. And then, or you could take here first. My bad. I mean, I was looking at this line, but it's too slow. The old mate, by the way. I mean, the idea I was looking at this here, rook f6. Still mate. So, it's all like trouble. Yeah, I mean, this position is over pretty much. Like, it's not much to say after f5. Good game though. Good game. Not much in this moves. It just feels like, you know, black lost the grip on the game after like around here, f4, 96. Actually, around me taking on b4. This is where things get really tough to defend. All right, that's gonna be it for me. I do stream every single day for people tuning in for the first time. It's a combination between Twitch, YouTube though. That YouTube is only gonna be rapid. What you guys see, only rapid with explanation of the moves. While in Twitch is gonna be like a Puzzle Rush, streaming on chess.com or Lichess. It's gonna be more like bullet, you know, blitz. It's like sometimes rapid, but not much. Rapid is gonna be more on YouTube. So I combined this I combined like both sites as well, like chess.com and Lichess. So I stream in both sites. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Sometimes it's early afternoon, late afternoon, New York time. It's hard to say. Sometimes it's late. It depends on my schedule because I have sick family member here and I cannot guarantee my time. But yeah, it's sometimes it could be like late, early, depending. It's difficult when you have somebody who's dealing with a cancer and, you know, hospital time all the time, and it's hard to make a direct schedule, you know, like being at 6 p.m. every day. It's just difficult. And I also teach chess, so that's going to be like I teach, and that's difficult too because, you know, some of the students may want to rescheduling that also happening, and that could conflict, like, you know, when exactly I should be streaming. So there's a lot going on. And especially July 4, like yesterday, this schedule is difficult because people are on vacation and I'm still teaching, by the way. So, but yeah, I mean, so tomorrow maybe we could go back to, we're still going to be on Lichess, I suppose. Maybe we're just going to do YouTube again, streaming on YouTube. Maybe a little bit early than today. We'll see. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe a little bit early. All right, folks, I'll let you guys go and hopefully be back. Thank you, Henry, Red, everybody else tuning in. Been streaming for a while, but we're going to continue. Streaming for a while, been a year, I guess. That's what I mean by a while. Above a year. But in YouTube, it's actually not long. Not long. All right, folks, I'll see you guys later. Take care, everybody. See you guys in the next stream. Take care.